Welcome back to Mark Emery Running's channel. So it's getting into autumn and winter now. The mornings are getting darker, the nights are drawing in, so it reduces the amount of time that we get chance to run in the daylight, especially if you're working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Weekends might be different, but having a decent head torch allows you to extend the running ability and get out and hit them trails or them roads while staying safe and also being able to see where you're going. So I borrowed some head torches, a range of different costs and different models and makes. I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown on the features and then also how they look in the dark. Let's get into this. Starting off with the Petzl IKO Core. So pretty decent brand with Petzl. Fits on the head quite nicely, if you can see that. So adjustable straps at the back there. Goes up to 500 lumen, and it's got a rechargeable battery, but also the ability to put AAAs in as well. So if you do run out and you're caught out somewhere, you can just grab some AAAs and chuck them in and continue running in the dark. It's got a bit of flood and mixed beams, 79 grams, and it comes with a storage bag. It sort of connects and then folds up into a pretty neat little parcel. You can slip it into a bag or a pocket quite easily, and then unclips in the back on the head. Let's cut some footage of it you being used in the dark then. Petzl IKO Core. I'm quite near a wall. I can't really make it out with the camera. But basically, I'm about 20 meters away from a wall. We're down by the coast. It's totally pitch black. We've got no light pollution down here as far as this is concerned. So we're going to shine it against the wall, how light it is. Okay, so that's on light, the dimmest. That's a medium. Just about make out the wall now. I'm on the dog. I don't know where the dog is. That's the brightest now. So you can easily see that wall. Sorry, easily see the wall. And then we start moving. Great field of vision. Really light. Just about see the dog there. She is probably about 30 meters away now, so really lights up the landscape around you, really light on your head. So as you can see, pretty decent, gives a really good field of view in the dark, quite comfortable on the head, as I said, and perfect for running on the trails. It's coming in around about 85 quid, so not overly expensive, but definitely sort of mid-market, I suppose. But 500 lumens, pretty decent for trail running and any roads in the early morning or at night. Next up is the Petzl NAO Plus. So this has got in intelligent lighting and reactive lighting. So when you go into a lighter area, whether it's street lamps or the sun is starting to come up, it will automatically adjust that. So it tries to conserve battery life. It's also got an app which you can connect it via Bluetooth and program certain settings for different types of running, whether you're on the streets or whether you're going into the trail. Maximum lumens 750, so a bit of a step up from the IKO Core, and definitely gives you a really good field of vision. Battery life around about 6.5 to 15 hours depending on the setting that you use. Again, it's got rechargeable battery. It has got also a rear red flashing light, so when you do start it up, you get a little light at the back which is quite useful if you're on the roads or all that, so cars or other people or things can see. It's a little bit heavier, so 185 grams, but you've got a little bit more battery power, and also obviously you've got this red light at the back, which is probably most of the weight. It's also got a over the head strap as well, which keeps it nice and snug. But again, real comfortable, don't really know it's there, adjustable and tilt. Let's give it a go in the dark then, guys. Okay, so that's mode 1. Just looking at that gate in front, which is probably 25-30 meters away. That's mode 2. That's an extra beam just come on, and then that's mode 3. So just looking around. As you can see, we're in pitch black here. So, massive field of vision. Okay, so as you can see, again, lights up the area really well. Perfect for trail running in the early morning or night time. A great field of vision. It's coming in around about £116, so a bit more expensive towards the higher end of the market now, but does come with a lot of features and pretty much bomb proof, especially with that reactive lighting. One thing I would say is I borrowed this off a friend, and we went running across the moors. A little bit was on the road, and I put this like Provis reflective jacket on, and every time I was in front of him, because the light was bouncing back off the jacket into the head torch, it thought that it was becoming light, so his head torch was dimming and he couldn't see. So just be mindful that don't run behind people that have got reflective clothing. Next up is the Decathlon On Night 710, more of a budget version here, coming in at $29.99 from the Decathlon website. It's got a little bezel there that you turn for the light to come on. It's got a range of lights going from 30 lumen to 300. 30 lumen is more given ambient light rather than needing or using to run. The 300 lumen, again, pretty decent output. 120 grams, so again, towards the heavier range. It says 3 to 12 hours of battery life. I would say that a friend that I borrowed this off would agree with that. He could probably go running most of the week in the mornings for an hour or so and not have to charge it until the end of the week. Again, rechargeable battery. It's also got a little safety feature that when the battery does run out, it's got another 1 hour of 50 lumen light as like a sort of emergency storage. So that's quite useful. And this is what it looks like on. Again, pretty comfortable. It's got the battery pack at the back, which is probably where the weight is mainly caused there. One thing I would say is that little turning bit is a bit of a frustration for me, but you know, hardly anything. Okay, let's cut to see what it's like in the dark. So now we've got the Decathlon Special, which is the On Night 710. And it's got a little dial there which you turn to switch it on and off and into strobe and into the different settings. It's a bit of a mess about this, so I'm going to put it on the head and show you the wall and its brightness. Okay, so this is the brightest setting. Again, there we go. Just tilt it down a bit, and that's into the wall again. Dog is over there. So turn it down. That's on the second setting, and then that is in the lowest setting. Again, it gives you more of a wider field rather than a beam of light, so you're sort of just looking in your local area, off and then into strobe mode. So turn it on to max beam. As we're moving around, there's the dog again. lighting up the whole area and the grass easily. There we go, some pretty decent light it emits there, and again, for a budget version, $29.99, totally fine for running on the trails or roads, I would say. Okay, another Petzl headlamp. This is the Bindi. It's really small, weighing in at only 35 grams. It does give out a 200 lumen light on its highest setting. There's 3 settings. It's like a flood beam. Again, it's got that rechargeable battery. They're obviously not as big as what the other batteries are in the ones that I've already spoken about. But it's pretty impressive, the light, given how small a unit it is. Pretty comfortable on the head. And the great thing about this, I would say, it's got a little tilt feature, and it's got some red eye and a lock and things like that to stop it coming on. Little adjustable head strap there. It's pretty comfortable. You don't really know it's even on your head. What I would say is that this is pretty good if the mornings are dark, but then you're going out just before that sort of dusk period, or so you can then just stash it into your pocket or race belt, and it folds it really small, so you don't really need it after maybe half hour of running as the sun has come up. So it's perfect for that. But I'm super impressed with the brightness that is emitted by this. Let's cut to that then. And now we've got the other Petzl Bindi. Tiny little head torch, does pack a punch. So again, we've got a little button there. So we've got 1, 2 and 3 brightness. Again, I'll pop it on the head and we'll show you the wall and see where we are. Okay, so the Bindi's on now. That's on the dimmest setting. That's medium. And there's the wall. And that's the brightest. So easily visible, that wall. And dog not so much, she's just here, come in there now. So 20 meters and incoming. What are you doing? There you go, easily lighting up her and the surroundings, given how small it is. Packs a punch, easily put in a pocket, easily light up. I'd happily run with this. Okay, there we go. So again, like I said, pretty decent light coming off that, and comes in 31 quid, so pretty much one of the cheapest ones that I'm showing in this video, comparative to the Decathlon one, quid or so cheap, more expensive. Not quite the lumen that one has, but for lightweight, it's pretty good. Okay, so next up we got the Amazon special. You can pick this up on Amazon there. It might not be this exact one, but they're pretty much just sort of headlamp knockoff type things. Between 15 and 20 quid. I'm guessing they're made abroad, to the Far East maybe. It's got 8 different light modes, and then also like a sensor mode. So if you switch this button, when you got movement in front of it, it comes on. There we go, switched it off. So I don't know quite why you'd use that, fishing or something. I don't really know. But as far as a running head torch is concerned, it's got 6 other light modes. It says it pumps out about 800 lumen. It's probably about right actually, with the main beam on, and around about 3 to 8 hours of battery life. I can probably, this is my head torch by the way, I can probably run for 2 or 3 mornings comfortably for an hour or more, and then I would need to charge it. So it might not last the full week, or if it did, I'd be a bit sketchy going out on the last couple of runs. But yeah, easily 2 or 3 runs out of it. It's like got a flood and a spotlight element. Let's cut to see what it looks like in the dark. Okay, next up is the Amazon budget. Don't know quite what it's called. Headlamp, that's what it's called. So this has got a number of modes. Got main beam, sort of a dimmer main beam, a more sort of wider vision, dimmer red into flashing red. So here's it on the main beam. There's the wall that I spoke about earlier. That's on the highest setting. That's just a dimmer main beam. That's a more sort of wider field of view. So still lighting up the landscape. Dimmer view, that's the red flashing back off. So if we're moving around, again, good spotlight. You can see the dog in the distance just there. She again is about 30 meters away. That's a dimmer view, and that's it on a sort of wider view if you just needing closer action. Still 10 or 15 meters from that wall, so still lighting up the area. Really good. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the head. It's got an angle tilt there as well, and just the strap that goes round. Then I sometimes attach a little flashing light to the rear of the head strap there, just to have that safety feature as I'm out on the roads and stuff. Quite a comfortable head torch, not that not as light as the Bindi, but coming in at only 71 grams. I'd say that's pretty decent compared to the others. So yeah. Okay, so the last one we've got is this SILVA Trail Speed 5R, R for running. This is the most expensive one that I'm showing. I borrowed this off a friend who's used it in Snowdon 100 miler. It comes with this 3.5 amp external sort of battery power, which is attached to the wire. This can be attached to the back of the head torch, or can be shoved in a pocket or your rucksack if you're doing an ultra, just because it's probably, or is, the most of the weight of the head torch. Again, it's got this sort of adjustable light at the front there, a maximum lumen of 1200, so it's like a sort of searchlight or having a car light on your head. There's also other settings, 80 and 450. The 80 is fine if you're just plodding around on roads. 450 is plenty if you're out on the trails. Illuminates the area pretty good. It says between 5 and 20 hours of battery life on that 3.5 amp. You can get a 7.5 amp battery, 7 amp battery, which obviously just extends that. The guy that did the Snowdon 100 said that he lasted all night for him, so he was ranging between the 450 lumen and then the brightest at 1200 when it was really technical downhill, or he was looking for some points of reference. 171 grams if you include the battery. 86 grams if you just use the headlamp, if you're just weighing the headlamp on its own. It's also got that safety feature that the Decatholon one had. It gives you another 30 minutes after the battery is gone as like a sort of additional power reserve type thing. It is the most expensive one on you, 156 quid on the SILVA website at the moment. Pretty comfortable when you put it on the head. It's basically just a head strap with a small light. It's the battery that gives most of the weight on this one. And as I said, when you tilt it down, it sort of spreads the light. So if you need it for map reason, and when you push it out again, it goes to like a spotlight mode, so you're covering the landscape. Okay, let's cut it out to what it looks like in the dark. Right, so next up we've got the SILVA. It's got an external battery, 3.5. A mate who I borrowed it off said it's an absolute beast. So let's get that on. It goes from 80 lumen to 400 to 1200 lumen. So we should see some serious brightness here. Let's get this on and give it a go. Okay, so SILVA coming on. Right, that is the 80 lumen. So you can still see that gate in front. pretty good on close up, and then we go to 400 lumen. You probably can notice the difference on the camera there. Again, we're, I don't know, 25 meters away from that. Pretty good field of vision. And then we go up to the 1000 lumen, and the camera's not really picking it up very well, but I mean, it's starting to show up the landscape and stuff now, but it's just too dark to properly get a feel for it. There you go, it's the side of the hill just up there. But yeah, it's pretty much turning night, daylight. Okay, there we go then. So you can see how bright it can be, and I don't think that the camera was fully picking up the range of light emitting that it was done, especially on the 1200 lumen. It was lighting up sort of the side of the little valley that I was in, and it really feels like having a car headlight shoved on your head. So definitely great for racing and also some real technical trail. But as I said, the most expensive one out there, and you also got this bit of a lump of a battery that you got to carry. So if you're just going out and about for easy trails, it's probably not the one for you. Okay, so that's all the head torches. Some of the sort of ones that I would personally recommend if you're just going out and doing light trail or roads, and just keeping it easy. There is nothing wrong with this Amazon 15 quid to 20 quid one. It's comfortable, it doesn't weigh that much, it's got a rechargeable battery, it's got a few different light modes, and I've run plenty of miles either on the road or off-road and through forests and through the dunes and onto the beach and things like that, and it's given me enough light to cover that. If you're looking for something cheap and cheerful, this is the one for me. I've got no issues with this whatsoever. I do really like the Bindi just because you can just chuck it in your pocket if then you're running a little bit before the sun comes up. So you haven't got to have the head torch just strapped to your head for an hour or more if you're out for a longer period when the sun has come up and you can see perfectly fine. To the other noticeable one, I think is actually really comfortable, but again probably more at the expensive end, is that Petzl NAO Plus. Just the fact that it's got the reactive lighting, and also that you can program it a little bit. And then if you've got the cash, I would plump for that SILVA Trail Speed 5R. It is a really good head torch. It's very, very comfortable on, and it gives some serious lumen if you need it. But if, again, like I said, it all depends on your budget and what you're doing overnight, so or early morning if you need, and how much light you're going to need. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Subscribe, tell your friends, like it. Take it easy.